If you're a believer, why are you relying on people to solve your problems? Let's break it down. Welcome back to another video on this channel, Hardcore Spirituality. I'm Johan and I'm your host. When I say if you're a believer, why are you relying on people to solve your problems? When I say if you're a believer, I'm talking about religious people and spiritual people who claim to know, understand, and appreciate God, higher power, creator, divine, spirit of the universe. On the one hand, you're saying, I have a relationship with God, but on the other hand, your actions show otherwise. If you don't realize it already, and what I'm about to say, the moment you do realize this, your life will change. But I'm not sure you could handle it. Here's what I have to say. Most people are not compassionate. Most people are not compassionate. In other words, most people don't have your best interests at heart. So when you whine to them and you complain to them, they're just collecting information. Why would they collect information? They collect information because this gives them something to talk to other people about you. Some of those people who aren't compassionate that you go to with your problems, actually enjoy that you are suffering. On the outside, it may appear to you that they're concerned, but in either case of those two cases I just mentioned, what are these people doing to help you? If these people are close to you or family, it would be reasonable to believe that they know what your condition is, whether it's emotional, physical, financial. So why would you have to go to them when you're in dire straits? If they are compassionate people, they will already have reached out to you and offered you help. And if they're not doing that, and chances are they're not, they're just collecting information. Now, if you're a believer, spiritual or religious, why do you continue looking for people to save you, to solve your problem, to give you information to get out of the rut you're in? A couple of weeks ago, and it wasn't just once I mentioned this, a lot of people's problems are that they don't commune with God, the higher power, creator, divine, spirit of the universe. They just throw up a prayer and expect instant results. I've mentioned to you over the months that, and I truly believe in this statement, all the answers to your problems and situations, you already have them. They're just one buried deep down under emotional and mental trash and garbage. And number two, you have not come to the point where you're ready to follow instructions on how to get to that information to help solve your problem, to give you a release at least, or to follow directions from a higher power, God, the divine, the spirit of the universe. I mentioned in yesterday's video, people cannot stand silence. Yet, it is in this silence that God's voice speaks to you. I'm retired, so I'm going to say it how my routine is. However, just because you work, that doesn't mean you can't take what I'm about to say and use it to your advantage. You need to understand the things you're attached to. You need to understand that a lot of these attachments have become addictions. You have gone beyond having habits because these habits have turned into needs. Needs. You need to have them. You're addicted to them. You get up in the morning, you turn on TV. You get up in the morning, you go on Facebook. You get up in the morning, you watch pornography. You get up in the morning and you start worrying about what you're going to eat today or plan your meals out throughout the day. You get up in the morning with an unresolved situation from a family or friend. And you try to handle it yourself. Number one. Number two, instead of going into silence and communing with God, you turn on the TV and do all those other things I mentioned. But most importantly, because this is what this video is about, is you depend on other people to solve your problems. Well, maybe they're helping you. Financially, let's say. You post on social media, I don't know how I'm going to have this bill paid, and people start responding, oh, I'll help pay this bill for you, and things of this nature. At some point, these people are not going to be in your life. Then what are you going to do? For the rest of you folks who keep running to other people thinking that they're compassionate, you've now developed a habit that you're relying on people who cannot help you, who will not help you. Months ago, I mentioned in a video about detaching from these things. I ask you a question. When you open your eyes in the morning, what's the first thing you think about? Going on your phone? Checking text messages? Going on Facebook? Turning on TV? What's the first thing you think about? Playing video games? Watching pornography? And I said, try this tomorrow. Don't do that when you wake up. Did you do it? Did you try it? Did you say, tomorrow when I get up, I am not going to turn on my TV and start watching news all day or whatever programs you watch? Did you try that and say, at least for the first hour, I'm not turning on that television because Johann said, I'll be surprised at all the things I discover I can do and I will start doing. Did you try it? Same thing goes. And I'm talking to people who have continuous issues, problems. Did you say, tomorrow when I get up, I'm not going to start watching video games right away? The first hour, I am not going to watch video games. Did you try it? Because Johann said, I'll be surprised when I sit there in silence that I realize there are so many other things I could be doing. Did you try it? How about pornography? For you people that get up and watch pornography first thing in the morning or all day, did you say, tomorrow for the first hour, I'm not going to watch pornography? When I get up, I'm not going to watch pornography. Did you try it? Because Johann said, when I don't do that and I sit there in silence, I'm going to realize that there are a lot of things I could be doing. Did you try it? If you claim to be a believer, whether it's religion or walking some spiritual path or way, what is it you believe in? Most people are not compassionate. All they're doing is collecting your information. They're not going to solve your problems. You might have a benefactor, and I know people like this, in their 30s, that every time a hardship manifests in their life, they have somebody to bail them out. Well, here's news for you, Joseph. One day, that person isn't going to be there. You're engaging in unhealthy relationships with people who do not have compassion. In the case of being bailed out by somebody with a lot of money, that's not compassion. When you go to people and you're whining and complaining about problems you have, and then you say to that person, I'm so glad I have you in my life because you always listen to me, how is that person helping you? At some point, watch yesterday's video. At some point, when you step away, give yourself that time in the morning instead of doing all that other nonsense, and you sit in silence, at some point, instead of running to God, you run to other people, but you claim to be a believer. You're going to realize these people don't have your best interest at heart. There's an old saying, God helps those who help themselves.